Gather round. Today's file needs an honest read, because by the time you watch this, a meeting in Muscat may have already decided what a fifth of the world's oil does next. This week ran a complete escalation cycle, by the book, in 7 days. Strike, pause, squeeze, climb down. Tonight I am going to walk you through each rung of that ladder exactly as the record shows it, because the week ends with two governments betting everything on one sentence being said out loud in Oman. That is not a metaphor. It is literally one sentence, and Washington read it to reporters in advance. Rungs 1 and 2, strike, then pause. Nights 1 and 2 of this week, roughly 170 targets across Iran's coasts, ports, air defenses, and logistics. We filed that ledger here 2 nights ago. Then nights 3 and 4, nothing. A pause, held deliberately, described by officials as strike then pause, to let the diplomacy work. Understand what that pattern is. It is not mercy, and it is not hesitation. It is pressure with a clock on it, and the clock was always pointing at Muscat. Rung 3, the squeeze, run on the wallet. Tuesday, the United States revoked the waiver that let Iran keep selling its oil. Friday, Treasury sanctioned a Dubai-based financier named Ali Ansari, along with his exchange houses, accused of channeling wealth to the new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, and to the Revolutionary Guard. Strikes hit launchers, sanctions hit the men who fund them. By Friday evening, every rung of the ladder had been climbed except the last one, and the last one belonged to Tehran. Rung 4, Friday night, the climb down. And read the attribution on this one carefully because it matters. U.S. officials say Iran's leadership privately told Trump advisors that the attacks on Hormuz shipping, the acts that restarted this war, were a mistake, committed by errant hardliners trying to undermine the diplomacy. Bloomberg sources render it rogue elements of the Revolutionary Guard. Now the discipline. That is Washington describing Tehran's private message. One side of a wire. We cannot hear the call, only the readout. But if it is accurate, it is the most important sentence of the week. A government disowning its own escalation to keep a negotiation alive. Which brings us to Muscat, and a meeting whose terms were briefed to reporters before the delegations even landed. Iran's foreign minister, Abbas Araghchi, leads the delegation. The American pass-fail line, per senior officials, verbatim. Iran must declare that all channels of the Strait of Hormuz are open, and they're not shooting at ships anymore. Open, quote, in the same way it was before the conflict. And the or else got briefed with equal clarity. If that is not Iran's position, then, quote, it's not going to be a great day for them. Failure, another official said, would result in consequences. One sentence, said out loud, or a second volume of this file. Now the honest readout, which does not come from either podium. It comes from the water. The Navy's guidance says the Strait's southern route remains available for all traffic. Available is not used. On Thursday, exactly 3 fuel tankers were broadcasting their positions inside the strait, and 2 of those were sanctioned ships hauling Iranian oil. Before the war, that waterway ran more than 120 ships a day. Understand the mechanism. It is not ordnance that closes a strait, it is insurance. The premium does not care whose fault the last missile was. And oil closed the week up 5.5%, which is the tax this cycle already collected from every single person who drives. So here is the after action for a meeting that starts within hours. The cycle ran end to end in 7 days. Strike, pause, squeeze, climb down. It produced, by Washington's own account, a private Iranian disavowal and a public American ultimatum, and both capitals have now bet on the same sentence being spoken in Oman. If it is said, the tankers switch their transponders back on, and this week becomes a case study in coercive de-escalation. If it is not, the promised word is consequences, and this file gets its second volume. Either way, the record shows exactly how 7 days took a fifth of the world's oil hostage to one declaration, and who, on each side, wanted it that way. Watch the transponders, not the podiums. Debrief complete. Eyes open. I'm Mark, and this is Pixel Politics.